Hey guys, so today I'm working on the inside again, and I'm just going to clean up the engine bay a little bit for the engine and transmission to be prepped to go in here. Still waiting on the LSD for the transmission, but I wanted to get rid of this hybrid line, for the electric motor. All this copper wire, it's just ugly, taking up space. I wanted to get rid of the old AC system stuff, possibly the ABS module, definitely the windshield washer fluid reservoir. I wanted to take off the headlights and clear them up. What else? Obviously this is part of the AC too, that's going to come out. Oh, the old intake air box thing, that's going to come out too. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be working on today. First, let's get this hose off. And that's going to be 2 bolts back here and a bolt right here. And that looks to be it. So let's do that. Okay, so now that those 2 bolts are out, right in the center here, you just yank these lines out. And then I'm going to go down here and take this off next. So I'm going to take this, if it'll focus. Gonna take this bolt off, this bolt off, and that seems to be it for this AC part. I'm not sure what this is called, but I just know it is for the AC. All right, so that's this stuff out. Next, I'm gonna take off this rusty old bracket that was holding those lines, so just 2 bolts. Okay, that's this out. While I'm in here, I think I'm going to cut these and get these brackets off that hold these things on. Okay, those are off, so this is now loose. I'm going to have to actually put the car up to get the rest of them out, so that'll wait till a later date, but it's at least disconnected for now. Next, I'm going to need this bumper off, so let's do that. Okay, so to get this bumper off, you have 3 screws down here to disconnect it from the inner fender. You have a small screw, well, you might not have to take that one out, but there's one here. There's an 8mm right here, and then up top it's just these where are they at? These clips right here. But yeah, so that's all you got to do to get the bumper off. So let's get this thing off. One other thing I forgot to mention, there's 2 clips, 2 of these guys under there too. And I forgot one more that I didn't see. It was just missing on this side. There's supposed to be a bolt here too. Also 8mm. Also something I forgot, there's a sensor right here, so just be careful of that. Okay, bumper's off. Let's get this windshield washer reservoir off, because this is probably 5 pounds worth of fluid. So yeah, so this has 3 bolts. It has a 10 back here, right there. It has a 10 right here, and then a 10 right there, and that's it. Obviously some wiring connections too, but yeah, there's that. So that's out now. I think I'm just gonna tie up these wires, call that a day. Let's do this old air box now. So we have a bolt here and a bolt here, and that's it. That's out. Next, I'm gonna take off this bracket because I don't know what it's for, but I don't think I need it. All right, so that bracket's off. Now it's time to get this whole AC, I guess radiator thing off. AC, not condenser, I'm not sure. The AC radiator. And to do that, it looks like I just need to take off this bolt, and then same thing on this side. These will lift off, this will lift out. So I have my first bolt break off on me on this whole car. And then also, I didn't see, I need to take these bolts out too for this, which means the headlights have to come off. So yeah, So for the headlights, we always have a bolt here, and then we have the last bolt right here. And of course, never forget your wiring connections, which mine aren't looking too hot, but yeah. And that fucking sucks. I had another one snap off on me. Okay, headlights are out. So now I can easily access these two bolts right here to get this support off. All right, so I took off this nut right here to take this off so that this is easier to just lift right out. But yeah, so this will be out. I'm gonna save this fan because I think I am gonna do a bigger radiator, and I want to keep, I still have the original radiator fan, but maybe I can fit 2 fans on there, who knows. But yeah, so I gotta go to work, but that's about it for today. This video is still gonna continue, but so in the rest of this video, just gonna take this out and then restore the headlights, you know, sand them down, paint them, do all that good stuff. But yeah, and honestly, I think the car's a lot easier to work on like this, all apart, so I'm probably just gonna leave it apart like this until the drivetrain goes back in it. Okay, so I did restore the headlights off camera. That's going to be a separate video that drops before this one. So I think they turned out pretty well. Next, I just ordered some shifter cables last night. So I'm going to be taking out these stock shifter cables here. And because I'm running an Accord 5-speed, I did need to make sure that I got Accord shifter cables. Just a note for anyone doing a swap like that, you should get the cables that are meant for your specific transmission. But yeah, let's work on getting these out. Okay, so to get the shifter cables out, first I'm gonna actually take out the old shifter, and I'm also gonna see if the holes line up for my new shifter. So let's do that. It's just 4 bolts, and these, I guess we take out these for the cables. And then the cable should just slide out to the side, and that's that. Next, I'm gonna take out this 10mm right here, this bracket that's holding these shifter cables. All right, so because I'm lazy and didn't want to do the bolts way up in there between the ECU, that little electrical thing and there, I just cut them with a Dremel. So old shifter's out, those will pull out that way. And that's that. Shifter cables and shifter are out. I'm gonna go grab my new shifter and see if the bolt pattern is correct. If I, have to drill holes, I have to drill holes, whatever. But I'm gonna see if that fits. Okay, so I got my shifter here, and it's looking like these back holes are not gonna line up, but these front holes are looking good. So that's good. I at least only have to drill 2 holes. Or I could get an adapter plate, but I'm gonna do it the cheap way. I'm just gonna drill the holes, put a nut underneath, and then yeah, call that a day. I did transfer over the rubber grommets and metal pieces from the OEM shifter, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna be working with. But yeah, so you're doing the swap, and you get the bull boost shifter, which is meant to just bolt into a 04 to 07 or something like that Accord with the 5-speed. It's not gonna line up perfect, so something to note. All right, guys, so I got the car up on the lift, and next I'm gonna be actually taking this out. So let's start by getting this panel off that runs back, and yeah, going from there. All right, so now that aero cover's off, we can access this cover and get this thing off, and it's just a couple more 10s. So I got this out. That's another 10 pounds out the car, and 10 pounds worth of copper I can take to the scrapyard. And to do that, to get it out, I just cut it. Okay, so these were in the car, like connecting to the old hybrid battery. I cut them here. I also cut this one at the bottom down here, and then I just used these clippers and just kind of twisted this out to pull it out of, there's a rubber grommet that it was in, and then the rest is just a couple 10 mils and just pulling out these pieces off the side. But yeah, so now I'm going to be installing my new Jack Spania alternator relocation kit First, going to take off these 2 bolts and get off this old idler. So here's the Jack Spania kit. You have a bracket, 2 pulleys, one for the alternator and one that's an idler, a belt, some spacers, 2 brackets for the alternator itself, and a bunch of hardware. And obviously here's my new alternator for the engine, the TSX engine. So this alternator pulley is the exact same size, and I don't really care that this one's silver, so I'm just going to leave this stock one on. So that's one less part that I have to put on. So yeah, let's get to mounting this stuff. Okay, so the 2 bolts with these heads will go in this, and this will go right here in these 2 holes. And you're going to need a spacer between this to make sure that it sits flat against the engine. So I'll show you once that's done. So here's what this looks like. I have a little spacer on the back here, and then that's tightened down. And then next we're going to be doing this bracket. I don't think I have this on right yet, so we'll check on that. Okay, so there's a tab on the back of the engine here. So I put in some small spacers, and this is how this bracket sits. All right, so I came out here today to work on this a little more, and this is how this stuff's supposed to go. So you have a piece in here, a block, then on this side you have this threads into that block, then you have this thing on here, and then you have a washer and a lock nut. However, they did forget a spacer in my kit that's supposed to go between this pulley and the lock washer, so I'm gonna have to contact Jack Spania about that to get that spacer, or I'm gonna have to go find some perfectly sized washers. More likely just gonna contact them because ran into some issues and I'm not gonna be able to get this motor in today anyway. Yeah, so that's, that's that as far as the pulley section of it. Okay, so with a little persuasion, I got this on. So here's what it's looking like. We have a regular Allen back here, a long hex going through here with the smallest of the spacers with the lines on them. I did have to grind it down ever so slightly to get it to fit. Obviously we have a short Allen here, a little bit longer one here with a short smooth spacer. And then back here we have these Allens with the longest spacers available and some lock nuts, and those are also Loctited because I figure those are the hardest ones to get to if they ever come loose. But yeah, so now this is done. I'm just gonna be waiting on the spacer from Jack Spania. So yeah. All right, so as a last little step for the day, I did get the belt on, even though it's gonna have to come off for the spacer when that comes. But for right now, this motor, other than putting a new filter and oil in it, it's ready to go into the car. So yeah. All right guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. Next video should be out next week if everything goes smoothly with getting this transmission buttoned up. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please like and sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.